Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the Ordinal space to a T. We cover everything, guys. We cover everything Ordinals, from BRC20s to TAP protocol to Boss to absolutely everything. Today we have a really cool thing. We have the Frens. This is something really cool. I heard about it about a week ago and then really got into it on Saturday during our spaces. This is why you guys got to be in our spaces, is because there's so much new stuff, and we got just founders just coming in and just talking about their product. Normally on spaces, we usually give the founders about 10 to 15 minutes. Everyone had so many questions. The Doggfather was on stage probably for the first hour. It was awesome. It was really cool. Everyone was really interested. And I said to Yagobi, I said, we got to get this guy on. So here we go. We have the show. So without further ado, let me bring in my partner, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what up? What up?
What's going on? So the spaces were lit. Absolutely lit. What you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, our spaces definitely are getting better and better each week, and the Doggfather's been in a couple of them, really, because I think when I first heard about what he's building, him and his team, it was, I want to say, almost 3 weeks ago. And I instantly thought I could just inscribe the .friends, so I did. I was like, I'm gonna make sure no one takes my name and Ordinal Revolution and all that stuff, right? So little did I know that that wasn't the route to take. But yeah, so last week though, really, I believe is whenever we really got to get deep into it, and I love it. I love the concept. I think that this is something that the DeFi type of culture needs, right? Like, let's not, if we don't want regulation to come through, let's clean up ourselves, right? Like, as a community. And I feel like this can definitely assist in that, right? It's almost like a credit score, except for within the the ordinal space or DeFi space. So
yeah, I actually like that concept too. It's like, imagine just being like a lending protocol, and it depends on your .friend score. You know what I mean? Like maybe one that's based on it, saying, hey, we give out loans, maybe for like higher .friend scores and stuff. So that's something to think about, something new. I think we're a long way from that, but it's something that's definitely possible in the future.
Yeah, and that's where we are in the space in general, right? Like, innovation is pretty much the theme, and I think this is just another step in that direction. There's people that have talked about social networks and ordinals and DeFi before this, and there's attempts and all this stuff, but really this is I would say, like, detail wise, the most that made sense to me so far, right? We'll see what happens and how the community responds to it.
Hell yeah. So I guess let's bring them in. Let's bring in the Doggfather. What's up, Marty?
Hey, what's good? So thanks for having me. The space on Saturday was really crazy. I had such a bad feeling that all the other projects have less time, but I mean, there were so many cool questions. I mean, we had to take them. So thanks for taking your time now to inviting me to the pod.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
And it was cool too, because like we normally just usually give a guy like 10-15 minutes, and then we had people that were listening wanting to pop up because they had so many questions. That it was the first time I ever had to like tell guys like Sonic, hey, I gotta take you down so I can bring up someone with a question, and it was pretty crazy. It was awesome, and those guys were really fine with it, so it was really cool, and it was just really cool when you see something like that, when you see so many people interested, whether it was Mattyverse, and then it was 1 in 2 out, and it was so many other people that had questions. It was really just like people are really interested in what you guys are doing.
Yeah, thanks. I'm always there to come back, and I have we are going to the infra series on, I think, on Tuesday. So trying to do that maybe on a weekly basis to show up at least at the space, just to to report on updates and be there for questions, because it is relatively new. And then it's like the first soulbound token. Come to that in a bit more later. So it's like, so it's a bit different than other projects. So there's a lot to explain, and X spaces are perfect for that.
Yeah, I agree. So let's get into it. On this channel, we love projects and everything that do with that. But it's really about the people behind the projects. And for us, we really like to get to know the founders, and that's the reason why we really started the show. So can you take us back maybe before what you were doing before Bitcoin, all the way up until the first time you heard that magical word called Bitcoin?
Yeah, sure. So I'm basically a traditional TradFi person. So I did a lot of credit research, credit scoring. So it's like rating systems. So that was basically what I was doing as a researcher and also a data analyst, IRL. And then obviously I heard about Bitcoin pretty early and did some more like research on that and studying it, but never really thought it's something for me. So also like most people, like this is nerd stuff, but it's cool to have a look. But I didn't really get it, honestly. I mean, just heard about that, technically cool, everything, doing research. That was when Bitcoin was around $1,000 or so, and then I had some research going on with a student, and then I think at the end of his work, I think Bitcoin was at 2,000. I thought like, all right, that's it. That's the whole thing, and now it's over. It's too late. And little did I know, obviously, about that, and then forgot about that. Then had another student working on that. So and then I think 2 years ago, so then I couldn't neglect it anymore, and then I was like getting really into the rabbit hole, reading every book I could get, going on checking out all the YouTube channels, and the best book is definitely Mastering Bitcoin. Like if you really want to know how everything is working. So I think that was really opening my eyes. So Antonopoulos is really, the guy to learn how to do stuff. And yeah, so and then quickly I became like into, I mean, that's like great for savings, but the fun part is more on the NFT side. So then I quickly became into counterparty NFTs, which is a second layer on Bitcoin, think Rare Pappies and the like. So I started digging into the blockchain and found some old tokens and really had a blast, also with the Rare Pappy community and the fake rares. And so I was pretty familiar with Bitcoin and what you can do with that in terms of NFTs. And when Ordinals, popped, I was like, wow, I mean, this is awesome. That was like early February when Leo was tweeting about Bitcoin punks. I couldn't neglect it anymore. So then I was all in and basically shifted more and more of my focus to Ordinals. And yeah, so that's where we are. And then as most people, right, you start first lurking, then you start collecting, then you help with the project. So I had a fun project like the Bitcoin punks I2, so the second inscriptions. So I was helping a friend, building that little project and that community, and then I always wanted to also do something like building some really cool stuff. And then I had a longer discussion with Leonidas about what he could do with Ord.io, because I'm a big fan of what they're doing with what Zach and Leo are doing over there. And he was always like, yeah, cool ideas, but I mean, we have so many things to do before. So I had always these going into more this social networking also with Ordinal. And he was like, yeah, we now do this upvoting and this and that. And I was like, okay, then if they're not, planning to do that immediately, why not doing that on your own? So I was, writing the Git book and, just as a collection of ideas and, what you could do. And then Leo was also super helpful in saying like, okay, what you're doing here and the Git book you're showing me is nice. It's a cool idea, but you have this big technical problem that if you want to have something like the Frens score, I'm coming to that later. So it's like this, like a credit score, but a reputational score with on-chain information. Most people use an inscription service, and then you can send this inscription to any address. So it's very simple to manipulate what you want to do. So you need to make sure that the person who is inscribing can only send this inscription to an address he or she is controlling. And then I was like, yeah, that's complicated, so let's forget it. But we found a solution, at least for that problem. And at some point in time, I talked to some devs from oddbit.io, And then we started this collaboration that they were doing the heavy lifting, with the tech side, and I'm more like the conceptual person, and talking on spaces and reaching out to communities and cool people like you guys. And we had a very nice collab, and so then we had, we are now in the private beta that's still by invitation only. And I'm coming to that, I think, a bit later to talk a bit more about, the roadmap and the plans. But right now it's still, invitation only. So we have a few chats that we invited from our personal friends, and then we are reaching out to a few communities and talking on some spaces, and then opened up Oddbit Discord, have a friends section over there where people were asking for access codes and the like.
Awesome.
So that's basically like the little journey I had, and maybe just where this maybe this name Doggfather is coming from. So I'm obviously a big fan of Snoop, and at that point in time I was also involved in the Doge Party community, who are doing basically the same thing like Counterparty but on Dogecoin, and that's where the name is coming from. And the PFP you see is a 2014 NFT. And probably the first NFT with artwork that hasn't been changed on a non-renewable token ever. So this is why I'm still rocking that. Pretty cool history. So it's also inscribed, of course, so it's forever on Bitcoin. But it's having it's almost like 9 years old. No, it's 9 years old. It was first issued in August 2014, so quite a while ago.
That's awesome. All right, so let's really get into the project now. So the project is called Frens. Is that what the actual name is called?
Exactly. So that was my idea. So let's do something like a social network, and it should also have like a bit like a fun name. And so I don't know. This was just the first idea. I was putting that, and somehow I kept it because I thought like that's like sounds nice. It sounds like fun, but so I kept it. So that was before I knew about friend tag and all that. So that was way before. But then I found out there's so many things with friends and friend. But let's just keep it. It's cool. People know it now.
I like it. I like the name.
Yeah.
So
and I was going to just say, and I think the FREN. The spelling of it, the crypto and DeFi culture, like automatically will get that because it's like, part of the meme culture as well. So I really like the name as well.
Thank you. 100%. So that was the idea. Let's make it, like the whole version of Friends, and it's just way more fun and shorter as well.
All righty. I guess we'll get to start digging into the project. So yesterday you sent me the link. I signed up, so now there is a Shizzy.friend. It is me. So guys, please mention me because that would be awesome. But anyway, so you sent me the thing. I did your instructions, which was pretty easy. I just went to the site that you sent me, and then and put my name in there, put the code that you gave me, and eventually that code won't be there anymore. It'll be open, but right now it's invitation only. So we need a code for each one. I signed up. And then I sent it in. It took about probably, I want to say about 4 hours before I noticed that it was in there. And then but that was because I put in kind of a lower, I didn't really adjust the gas fee. And you said a way around that was to basically send it from a different wallet. That way you can adjust the gas fee. So that would have solved that problem. So I didn't really have any problems. And now there's a Shizzy.friends. So now I'm looking at it, and now I'm like, now what?
Yeah. So can we go into some basics that people really understand what we are doing? So that would be cool. So let me check how I can manage that. I have just one monitor. I hope it's going down now.
It is.
All right, cool. So let me tell you a bit the basics. So what we think about is that we would like to have a social graph for the Bitcoin community or social network. And what we want to do is that people inscribe their friend's ID, so like Shizzy or like Doggfather or Yagobi, and that's like how you would deploy a BRC20. Okay, but then the main difference is it's only there once and it should be kept in your wallet. We would like to have it like a soul-bound token. So this is your soul. It's not, up for secondary markets. It should be yours. You should keep it like you would keep your ID card. You're not selling that, right? Or your passport. It's yours. And the main information that we store on this Frens ID is your friends, right? That's why we call it Frens. So, and how do we do friends on chain? This is the addresses of your friends. So you show love, reputation, and respect towards a couple of your friends that are also active in the Ordinals and Bitcoin community. So you're basically inscribing your friends' addresses, and this is what we call a mention. And this is good for your friends because they see an increase in their reputation and in their network value if many of their friends are doing the same, right? And we have a leaderboard on the orbit.io website that you can check, and then you see how many other friends are mentioning your address, right? So this is kind of like an upvoting system. People can do that, but they have to add your address, and that's the whole thing. So we're asking. So I'm now have my Shizzy.friends. So what should I do with that? You should network. It's the same thing like on Twitter or on LinkedIn, everywhere. You network. So you're having some friends and you're telling them, look, I have this cool Shizzy.friends now, and I could add your address if you join the network. And you can do the same because we are friends. So you're reaching out to your friends to add them as well. And then the more you do networking, the better you score on this leaderboard. And I'm telling you what you can do with this friends score. So basically there are different use cases. So first is, and I think that's financially maybe the most important, that would be a risk indicator for DeFi protocols. And this is still very, very early. So we have Liquidium and a few others. And imagine the friend score. If you have a very good friend score because you have many friends mentioning your address, that may be a pricing characteristic for a loan. So you may pay less if you have a good score. Or you may need to pledge less collateral. Like, and that may be a big thing, obviously, if the DeFi market on Bitcoin is going up, because we don't have a real risk score on there. And I'm not saying that will be the only ingredient for a scoring system in DeFi protocols. I mean, definitely not. But it may be one that is helpful. So imagine two people are coming and ask for a loan. One is having a very cool friend score, and the other one is just having no friends. Obviously, you would like to make a difference between the two. And I think the same for all the other kind of use cases. So, for example, someone is dropping a new Ordinals project, and you don't really know this person because it's a newcomer. Okay, at least so it's the first kind of like time he or she is trying her luck as an artist. You may want to check the friend score, whether this person is having some trust and reputation in the community, because maybe of collecting or just being active as an educator, but not as an artist. Or let's say vice versa. If you're an artist and you think, or a project, and you think about whom should you drop your work, you don't want to have just flippers over there that, flip it for some sats and then leave, You would like to have, the real collectors, the real connoisseurs and long-term investors. And you may require a minimum friend score to be eligible for the whitelist, or at least to have this as some part of the game, right? That they should be holder of your BRC20 and they should have a certain friend score. I talked about that to BitGod yesterday, because they're also having a few drops planned. And for everyone who's dropping, I mean, you want to have the right community right from the start, because nobody wants to drop something and then on the secondary market it's going below the drop price. Right? I mean, that's like horrible. Nobody wants that. And then let's say you want to open up your own community and start a Discord and drop some token to your friends as as a token gated mechanism. You can just take your friends from all the addresses you collected anyway, you find them on the website. And if you trust that your friends also have cool friends, you also take their friends' addresses.
Yeah.
So it's like a second layer contact, like on LinkedIn and on these places. And then you may have 100 people to start with, and you have all the addresses at your hand. So it's super useful. And if you think that a friend of a friend of a friend is also cool, then you also take them. It's super simple, because if you go to our website, oddbit.io, we have the whole social graph, kind of like a bubble map, where you can go back and forth and check who is your friend and who are the friends of your friends and with whom they are connected. So you can basically go from your friends to the friends of your friends, and then to a few corners away, and check, okay, how many connections do I need to be connected to Franken, or whom could I ask?
Yeah.
If you want to reach out, stuff like that. And that's the use cases I can think about at the moment. And basically I add one every week, because you talk to people and they're like, hey, you could do this and that as well if this is working. I'm like, yeah, you're right. We can do that. And so this is really just a piece that's getting larger and larger here. And obviously we talk about the network, and it's only working if you have a large network, and not just a tiny network. So network effects are important. So we need to have, 1,000 or so people at the beginning to have a robust user base. At the moment, we have 1,500 and a few Friends ID taken. Not all of them are really active in the sense that they are mentioning friends and the like.
Yeah.
So we may have, let's say, 100 to 150 really active ones that are getting the concept, and the others were like, let's just be early and grab a Friends ID just to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
I think this is inevitable anyways, right? Like in terms of like the future of whether it's ordinals or even like the traditional DeFi side. So like from someone that's in the ordinal space, like I want this to happen now. And the reason why is because we're all friends, right? Like we're all like friends in spaces. The people that come to the spaces, for the most part, I would say like ordinals is a pretty tight knit community. And for us to get this going now before the big, shuffle comes over, I think is important, because it's not to gatekeep those people, but it's to let those people know, hey, look, we've built this trust system already. So you can't come over here and really try to, backdoor anybody or anything like that. I don't know. What do you think about that, Doggfather? Do you think that's too much of a, closed-minded thought process, or do you agree with what I'm saying?
No, 100%. This is why if people ask me, so are you like afraid of starting that in a consolidation or bear market phase? I'm like, no, not at all. Now, the people we onboard now who come to the spaces, who pay $1 or $2 to join such a network, to do that, read up a bit on what we're doing. These are the people we want to have early. I mean, that's why I'm also, if I have builders like you, educators like you, or key devs in the protocol, I'm like extremely happy. That's the people I want to have in there early on. And also because we want to make this friend score way more intelligent than just counting the number of mentions by anyone. So we want to have a weighted version of that, where early adopters have a higher weight, where people with a long-lasting friendship also have a larger weight, because we always need to deal with someone is gaming the system. So we need to be a bit smarter than just counting the numbers, because if someone is having 20 addresses, I mean, of course they can have 20 friends IDs and then cite each other and have some friends score. But we want to fight that by requiring also like a bigger wallet having like 100 inscriptions is also having a larger weight than just an empty address.
Yeah.
So like what Google is doing with some ranking of links. That's kind of like the same thing we want to implement. So I have a few ideas. If you like more details, you can go to the Git book link, which is in my pinned tweet, the first comment, for the algo. It's just there. You find a Medium article, which is a bit more articulated, like the pinned tweet, and also more updated. And the Git book with some further ideas and plans. And so if you're more interested, just go there. It's good to read up a bit. I have a video there for people who rather like to, just watch what we're doing. And then some others like to read. So we have both channels covered.
Yeah, I have all that in the notes below of the show notes. So you guys check that out. I'll go find it for you guys and put it all down there for you. So you want to go up?
Yeah, I was gonna ask him. So initially, you pay the couple dollars to inscribe your .friends name. Now, for me to build my network and build my friend score up, and that comes with the mentions, correct?
100%. So that comes with the mentions. So, for example, if you have your friends ID at the beginning, you don't have any mention because you're new, right? So that's always like you. And so then you talk to Shizzy, you talk to me, and like, hey, I'm there as well. So basically, like via Twitter or on Discord. So go to the Oddbit Discord, and then just tell like, hey guys, I'm there, or I highlight a few people that come to the network, and then everyone knows, okay, this person is not there. If I know him or her, let's just add the address. And you can do that, with every individual address, but you can also do that in bulk. So I'm typically waiting a week or so and then just collecting cool people I know that entered the network, and then I do 5 at a time or 10 at a time, just to save a bit on transaction fees. And that's what then I'm doing. Then I'm telling them, look, I added you because I know you in person, not just, heard about that, but really had some interaction with them, at least, some longer DMs or maybe a voice chat, or with you guys now with the pod. And if I like the people and they're in the network, obviously I add them. And typically they also do that.
Yeah. Wow. So you're paying to add to your network. So in a sense, I mean, people are going to be very careful on who they add to their network because they don't, you know what I mean? So it's like, in a sense, this could be a very valuable network, and people will take it very seriously, because I'm not going to add Shizzy if I don't really know Shizzy, because it's going to be, you know what I'm saying, as an example. So yeah, it's very interesting. I'm curious to see how the public responds to that, because I do see value in it, because it is going to mean that you care more about the people in your network, because you don't want to just waste money. So that's interesting. Yeah.
It's two things. First, it's good that it costs some money. And second, also you risk your reputation. So if you add someone who is later stealing money or screwing up people, I mean it's coming back to you, right? So it's not really helping you if you do these types of activities. So what you can also do in the protocol, you can also delete someone. So if you find out that, okay, the person you thought is a cool guy is now wrecking people, you will immediately delete that. And I think this is even more important, that you delete the bad actors very fast. And I think this will also be a very important risk characteristic. It's not just how many mentions you have, but to me, it would be a red flag if 1, 2, or even 3 friends remove that
100%
signal of trust. So this would be red flags. If I ever a DeFi lender, that would be very important for me. It's like a downgrade of a rating agency. Immediately, the rates are going up.
Yeah. I was laughing because you're highlighting Mattyverse, and everybody knows he's a really good guy. But you're right, 100%. I think people will definitely think twice, 3 times, 4 times before they make a horrible decision and try to rug people, because once you're out of this network, it's going to be very hard to get back in, right? I don't even know like how you would do that, right? You would have to make some public proclamation. Now, one thing I am a little bit worried about is, what if someone is emotional, right? And they're arguing with somebody and they just delete them because they're like trying to get back at them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, this is like in every network or social relationship, it's just the same. I think since you have to do real actions and stuff, yeah, I mean, we will see. I mean, actually, I think every action is good. The worst thing that could happen is people are not using it, and
Yeah.
uh, and then we had in the space yesterday people like, okay, the early adopters, maybe they have a higher weight and then people will pay them, to move up the leaderboard. I mean, that can all happen. So I'm
Yeah.
really, I mean, it's an experiment. I
100%.
hope that we have enough good actors that this will not be the most kind of like that this will not be too much.
Gamified.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's beginning times too. Like this is beta, so I'm sure that these are stuff that you guys talk about and you're planning solutions for them. So I'm not worried about that. I was just saying that, that's something that came across my mind.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is so new. We will find out, and then we will find solutions. So if I mean, all the things we do in terms of calculating the friend score, this is all off chain anyway. So this is
Gotcha.
what I'm telling the indexer, the Orbit.io people. Okay, now we have to adjust the score because we have seen this and that is happening. We need to reduce this and that ingredient because to get rid of this and that action. So that's a good thing. We have some stuff that is on chain, like all the addresses and the updates
Yeah.
and the deletes. But how we calculate the score, this is really on the indexer side. And if you like, you can go top right to the Frens button. And that's like the current leaderboard
Oh,
what
wow.
I was talking about. And on the left side, you have the whole social network where you can click on certain. So this is basically every dot is a friend's ID, and those that are more connected, you see, okay, that's the friend's
Wow.
ID. That is, how many mentions they have, and what is their friend's ID.
That's
Exactly.
awesome.
That is
So
cool.
that's me, for example, and then you can click on all my contacts, and that is, I think, pretty exciting if you can click through the network by going to yours and then checking out who are the friends of your friends. And this is
That's cool.
I think pretty visual, and let's see how people like it. It's not so final in terms of the coloring, so we can certainly improve it. And you see all these single dots are everyone who are just not having connections yet.
Gotcha.
So that we
It's
had
really cool.
we had a wave from the Chinese BRC20 community, and they were just hunting us for access codes just to get some digits. We also Shizzy was scrolling through the friends IDs, so we had many of these digits, and they just wanted to have the digits because digits are cool. And then let's see whether they're really actively using them.
No, it seems like they're at 0.
Yeah, exactly. So the single digits, the double digits, they were gone the first, of course, and then the 3Ds and even some 4Ds. So that's what people pick first. To
Toshio,
me, yeah,
guy.
to me it's easier if you use the name you're also using on other socials. So I think it's easier to find them. And then a second recommendation, if you go to inscribe yours, we recommend that you either add your Twitter handle or your ideally also your sets names, because we plan to integrate them a bit more in the future. Not 100%
Gotcha.
sure how and when, so it's definitely a bit down the road, but it makes 100% sense if you really want to network. I mean, for example, if you use one address for these social activities, I recommend people to have your odd.io profile with the address, to have your primary set name there and your friend's ID. And if you then
Gotcha.
also mention your Twitter address, I think people will find you and it's easier to network. If you have some random digit and not mentioning who you are, it will be very hard, to know who you are and how to find you.
Yeah.
Except, let's say, if you have single or double digits and you mention it on your Twitter profile or on odd.io, it's okay. But I think it's the best to just stick to your commonly used social.
Gotcha. Could you walk me through how to actually mention somebody?
Yeah, sure. If you go back to the inscribe page, so if you just go to inscribe, top right.
Okay.
So you see, we have three functions, right? So we have the deploy function, the update function, and the delete function. Exactly. So that are all the Frens actions you can do.
Over here.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. So deploy was what you do first. Maybe let's guide people through that. I think it's also good. So if you want to deploy your first Frens ID, you just pick some Frens ID. Let's say you did Shizzy, it's now taken. Something else, test one or Udi or whatever. So and then you don't need to add the .friends, just the ID, so the part without the suffix, and then the addresses, and that's what most people still don't get it. Even close friends, I was telling them 5 times, and they're still putting their own address. No, you should add, and we need to make that clearer here on in the UX. It's still pending the change. You need to add your friends' addresses. So let's say you add Yagobi, you add me, you add Tossio, you add Jake, and whoever you find. Or even people who are not on the network, like sometimes Leonidas is just mentioned, just hoping that he's also joining soon. So you can do that. Just if you find someone on ord.io, you just add them, if you like. And that's just comma separated, and you can have 5, 10, 20, how many you like. I think that the real leader right now is having like 200 friends or so. I would say that's maybe excessive, but maybe it's someone from a community just putting every holder in there or so. I don't know.
Yeah.
But typically you start with a handful. You need to have at least one that it's working. And then
So I'm sorry, I'm a little confused because now this is how
I did the same thing.
So this is how I deployed my original, right? Like, but so how do I mention people? It's the same screen?
Yeah. No, that's the next screen. So that's like if you need to click on you go on update. If you want to really want to add someone, let's say you want to add me because you now think I'm not that stupid and actually a nice guy. You just go to the ordbit.io website. You search for Doggfather, and then you find the deploy address, and then you just add it, and then
so if I want to do like Madiverse, right?
Or go with Madiverse, yeah.
I'll give him a shout out. I saw him, page 2. So
I put my address in there.
I put mine too.
Okay.
Yeah, people always do that. I don't know.
He's on page 3. So there he is.
Exactly.
So I basically just take his address here.
Exactly. You just copy the address, and then you go back to inscribe, go on deploy. Very important, you need to connect to your wallet that's also holding your friends.
Connect it.
Exactly, perfect. Then just add the address. And notes, you don't need anything to add. No, let's just keep that empty, I think.
Blank? Okay.
Yeah, better. And then, select some fee. Oh, it's busy right at the moment.
That's it. That's all I had to do.
Yeah, and then 1 sec. I think you also have to there's some payment option a bit later. 1 second. Pay now. Yeah, it's a bit. We can have 1 or 2 less steps there. And then you can say pay by wallet.
Then just move this over here real quick.
And if you want to speed it up, then just send it from some other wallet with a high fee. So we don't have like a fee setting that you can, for the payment, we don't have a fee setting yet. It's just for the inscription where you have the fee setting. Or what we could do is something like take the fee setting from your inscription also for, the send. I think that would also make sense.
So that's awesome. So I could do that I could do that to Toshio, to Yagobi when he starts, right? And that connects us as friends.
Exactly. So you can add also a few at the same time. So let's say if you find 5 of them, Exactly. So that's your status, and it's updated, and yeah, then you'll find it later on the website. So it's really not that much of a pain in the ass, and it's just taking a bit. We have two transactions to make, and then the indexer needs to pick it up. So give it a while, but then it will be there, and then at some point it will also be Toastio will also Metaverse will also then find his mentions to increase by 1. So as he's going up the leaderboard, he will be happy, and most likely will do the same favor to you. So
Awesome. That's really cool.
from our experience, it's typically like maybe you have 10 friends and you add them, and maybe 5 or 8 return the favor. That's maybe some are too busy or just don't notice it, whatnot. But that's how it's working, and that's why we're also reaching out right now to communities, because if you have the community like the project dev or maybe the artist, and they join the network, and then they have like 20 access codes or so to send them out to their community members, that's the best way to go up, in the reputational network, because it's pretty likely that they will add your address. So that's relatively, I would say, comfortable to increase your network by reaching out to your most active community members, right? So that's what we're doing right now. So this is the second phase of the private beta, and once we have everything really like smooth running, and that needs to be also faster, and we need to have 1 or 2 clicks less in the inscription, then we will go public, and then really go and let everyone in without any hassles with the access codes. So how can you get these access codes? So some people just DM me, and most likely I give them one, or they go to the oddbit.io Discord and open up a ticket. If they don't know me too much or don't follow me, then they typically go there. And if you are running a project and like that, an Ordinal project, then you can fill out the form in the Discord and tell, look, I would like to raffle away 10 or 20 or so access codes. And then we will just give them the badge, and then they just run that in their Discord or on Twitter, or just informally to their team and to the most active people, however they like it. They know their community best.
Yeah.
And that's the current onboarding process.
That's awesome. I like it. It's really cool. I mean, I got a better understanding. I definitely have a better understanding now than before, because I was a little confused on like what to do now, but that makes a lot of sense. Now I can go and grab a bunch of addresses later. I grab Toastio, I grab Yagobi when he starts, pop them on there, and boom, start creating a network. I like that a lot.
100%. So, and then you maybe do that. Typically I save some, over the week, and at the weekend have more time, then I add some. Then you can make a little tweet about that. Okay, look, guys, I added you, that they also know,
Yeah.
And so you have nice content also for a nice tweet, and then we will also use this leaderboard stuff a bit more once we have a bit more people there. And my goal is that we have some larger communities that they will be top of the leaderboard. It's not good that I'm now at top spot, so I want to change that. So reaching out to some larger communities that they take over, and then it's a good signal that people really use it.
Then it becomes a community tool, which is exactly what you want it to be.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if this is really like bigger, and this is also great marketing. I mean, if you're like in the top 20, top 50 later, it's cool because people see you. It's like on odd.io, if you have these challenges that people vote up their projects. I mean, we also do that in a way, but it's way harder to go up the ladder, because it's an actual transaction that's on chain and the like. It's not just a click of a button. So it's a bit more like stable, but it's cool if you're up there. I mean, honestly.
And I could basically say something like, if you added me, I'll send you a bitmap, right? I can do something like that. Like, hey, I'm trying to get some friends here. Add me, I send you a bitmap. I'm not going to do that. But I'm just saying, like, if I wanted to, you could do something like that as well, to where you can kind of like, whoever adds me, or it's like something like, hey, I'm doing an airdrop. Whoever adds me as a friend on .friends will get the airdrop, or something similar to that.
I think that would be kind of where people would want to stay away from that, though.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. And tell me if I'm wrong, Doggfather, but I think people will probably see the value of this, because you have to think about this. If you're a top 10 or top 50, even after this gets big, your name is now being backed by Bitcoin. You get what I'm saying? So when someone says, hey, you know, I want to add you to my network, I'm going to drop a bunch of bitmaps, that cheapens that. You get what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense, Doggfather, or do you think I'm off on that?
Man, I'm pretty open to see what people do. I mean, I can really think about, okay, if they're like, I mean, give something back. I mean, the best thing you can give back is, if you know the people, to also mention them. I think that's the hardest currency, I would say. That's the biggest favor. I mean, giving them some ordinals or some cash or so, or some whatever, you can also do that. But I think that I'm with you, Yagobi. I have not such a great feeling about that, but we will see. I mean, certainly some people will really try. I mean, some people are really competitive, you know, they will do whatever it takes. So let's see, maybe have also some hot Web3 girls, and they do, I don't know, also crazy thing. I mean, who knows? I mean, doing some crazy TikTok videos to attract, you know, mentions. We will see. I think once this is really has some perceived value, we will see people will do crazy things.
I agree.
And I'm looking forward to that. I mean, let's experiment.
I agree. And one thing too, I didn't think about when I said that just now. First, I do believe in what I just said to a certain extent, but I think that, like, if people do try to do the bitmap giveaway stuff, they know that, like, if once they're out, they're pretty much out, right? So they really can't mess up anyways afterwards. So even if they're doing these giveaways and stuff to try to get as much people, still the value is still there in the network. I mean, I love this. I think it's definitely, in my opinion, the concept is better than Frens Tech. And we need it. We need it in the space. So I just want you to keep building. And I have FOMO right now. I'm like waiting on the mempool. You know,
I'm opposite that. Like, I'm a very competitive person, like you just said. So, like, if you guys love me out there and you're listening to this, mention me, because it would make my day. I want to beat Doggfather. I want over that 20. I'm just kidding. But I'm a very competitive person, and that would be awesome.
I mean, you guys are in the perfect position because you meet so many people. So you should also be very much on top. I mean, everyone who's doing podcasts or X Spaces, I mean, they're the perfect people to mention their you know, Frens ID at the end or the beginning or somewhere, you know, because I think I would not come to your pod if I hadn't a good feeling about you guys. I mean, and I think you have so many guests and so many cool people on the spaces. I mean, you're the perfect, I think, members of such a network. If you guys are not on top, if you guys are not on top, I mean, that would be really odd. Then it would be a bad. I mean, in particular, if you also go to workshops or to conferences, I mean, then you have a couple of beer and stuff and talk to people, and then that's the perfect way to network. And then, I mean, let's manifest, you know, the sympathy you have towards the other, and you know, drinking beer and having fun. Let's also manifest that on chain. It would be cool.
I mean, there's so many possibilities too. You can invite all your friends to like a private spaces, or you can, you know, like there's so many like things where you can just grab addresses and have a basically a token gated by your .friends. I'm just thinking, I'm not sure this isn't built or anything, but there's so many possibilities with this that we can really go down, and I really like your project.
I mean, imagine you're really like a big influencer, and we are like 100x of where we are right now. And this token gated thing may be really cool because you give real value, right, to people you are. I mean, you can do that on two ways. You can have your friends and just add them, or you can just allow everyone who's mentioning you. So the friend, you know, the friend part comes from the others. You can have two sides. You know what I'm meaning? So you show respect to your group of friends that may be like 20, 50, 100 or so. But if you're really like an influencer having 10,000 people who mention you, you can also have, you know, a big X space just for them, you know, token gated or on Discord.
Yeah. I love that term, by the way, ordifluencer. It's that's the first time I heard that, but I don't know if I want to be one or not.
No, I think Leo even had that in his bio, so I was not inventing that term. I think he was putting that for as a joke, and maybe now keeping that. I'm not sure whether it's still in the bio, but it was there. I've seen that a while ago.
That's funny. The first time I heard that, that's funny.
Yeah. No, I think for this type of kind of use cases, it's like perfectly suited. It's really you can drop someone, you can have token gated access. Whatnot.
I'm gonna keep checking every 5 minutes.
Man.
All right. Good.
All right. So I think at the end, can I just say a bit on how to onboard, how to reach me, how to
So at the end, we usually give a stage to all of our guests. So this is your stage. You can say whatever you want.
Awesome. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. We would really like to build the social network on Bitcoin. We don't want to be on centralized networks only. We want to own our data. We want to be our own kind of like decentralized, network on Bitcoin. This will outlive us. If you want to join, there are two ways. The most obvious one is to go to the Ordbit Discord. So go to the Ord_bit Twitter handle. There you have the Discord link, and maybe the chats will also add it to the notes. And there we have a Frens channel where you can open up a ticket to ask for an access code. You can connect to other Frens members and maybe to find people you already know, and you may mention them and they may mention you. If it's really like super urgent, you don't want to wait for a ticket and you know me a bit, you can also slide my DMs. Maybe I find an access code here or there. And the only thing you have to do to mention me afterwards. I'm just kidding. So that's basically the plan. We don't have like a 5-year roadmap. We have a few things we want to implement. You find that more in the Git book in further plans. So I will be around for many more years with that. So I think that may be the project of my life. So I'm really into that. So as I love all things social that is decentralized, it's fully free mint. So we don't earn any money here. So you don't have to buy keys, shares, or whatnot. It's everything is free. We want to just have fun and connect. And everyone knows if you have a lot of social capital, this will also pays off nicely and heavily in the future, because then people trust you and you can do all kind of cool things if you like a reputable person, maybe via a cheaper DeFi loan, or maybe just because people trust you and would like to work with you and collab. So happy to see you. Let's make that work.
Oh yeah, and I appreciate you walking me through that, because before you got on the show, I didn't know what to do. I was looking at the screen like, and I think we need to do more things like this. And in the future, me and Yago, we will do a tutorial on this, and we'll kind of like break it down once we really get a hang of it and everything. And it seems pretty easy. And but I think a nice quick video tutorial would be really cool, maybe showing everybody eventually too. So we really appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate you showing me. Appreciate you building this, because like you said, you're not making no money from this, which is amazing, and we really appreciate that, being in this small knit community that we're in.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. And let's connect.
For sure. Definitely. For sure. Well, and you guys, people like Doggfather are they're in our Saturday morning spaces. So come, because you'll get educated from builders like Doggfather. Yeah. But I just wanted to say one last thing. I think Doggfather is like the perfect guy behind this. He has that credit algorithm background, and that's what this is going to be, right? So much thanks for joining us, and look forward to the next one.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
All right, have a good one.
So what you think, man? I was really impressed. I really like it. Now that I actually know how to use it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of these projects are kind of like that, right? When they're in beta, they're still working through things and not necessarily want to just regurgitate everything out right now. But having them on our show and our platform is perfect, because people will get to know how to use this before it's open to public, right? So I love it. I love it because of it's just something that the space needs, And so I really hope that they continue to push forward, even if it is slow in the beginning or whatever, because I feel like his thoughts are organized and where they, you know, he wants us to go. And I feel like it's heading in the right direction.
And I think it's really good for the space, just like you just said. Because first we have bitmaps, and then we had quad key, and now we have .friends. And I just think we need more and more and more things just like this. And I'm probably missing a few, but I think we need like probably 20 to 30 things like that to kind of keep everyone constantly interested. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Because everyone got ADD in the space. You know what I mean? It's like it's always to the next thing, and it would be nice to kind of have many things like this. And I think .friends is really good, really, really good for the space. Check it out. Go get it. .friends. It's like $3. Just, you know, just in case it does take off, at least have your name. So I highly recommend everyone get in his Discord, get in his tickets, because that is the easiest way that he mentioned how to get it. So do that, get one, like and follow the stream as well. I appreciate you guys like and sub. Sorry, the follows on the TikTok and the subs here. It's always confusing to remember which one to switch. But please sub, guys. Please like the video, and we appreciate every single view.
Yep. We appreciate all you guys. Support is just like overwhelming, you know, in a good way. So, you know, just keep joining those Saturday morning spaces with us on Twitter, and then keep watching our founder episodes. You're going to learn a lot from us. Appreciate it, and have a blessed weekend.
Peace.